welcome back to our vegan kitchen. It's Veganuary day 28.
Whoa.
Looks like we almost made it. Just a few more days. We've got a great recipe for you today. This is one of those set it and forget it type recipes. This is going to take all day long. So we're having chicken soup tonight, chicken noodle soup, vegan of course. Love it. But what goes so good with soup? Homemade bread.
Yay!
But what a pain in the neck, right? No, it's not a pain in the neck. It's super simple. I'm going to show you how to make a super fancy bread, an artisan bread that's going to impress your friends, and you're hardly going to have to do anything at all. So basically we're just going to mix all of our dry ingredients together, which is some semolina flour, some all-purpose flour. You don't have to use semolina. You could just use all-purpose or bread flour. I just like the way semolina tastes. I grew up in Queens in New York City, and they had a store called Western Beef. I know, it was gross. But they had the best semolina loaves of bread, like boulets, that I've ever had. Delicious. I'm still dreaming about it, with sesame seeds on the top. Delicious. So this is what we're making today. Got the flours. I'm going to also add 2 teaspoons of salt, because bread without salt doesn't taste very good, to me anyway. So I use my Himalayan sea salt. So I've got 2 teaspoons of sea salt. And I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of yeast. This is, I buy in bulk. It's a lot cheaper than buying the packets. Even if you don't use it like really quickly, you could just keep it in the refrigerator forever, pretty much. As long as you keep it in the fridge, it should be fine. Just check it every once in a while and make sure it's still alive. So we're going to use a whisk and combine all of our dry ingredients so that we get a nice equitable distribution. We don't want our parties fighting. We want everybody to get what they need. And then the only other ingredient after this is water. And that's how bread should be made. When you look at bread labels in the supermarket and you see like canola oil or vegetable oil, or that's not good.
You don't need all that.
You don't need it. So that's ready to go. I've got my, how much was this? This is 1.5 cups of warm water. You might have to add a little bit more depending on the type of flour that you use. Bread flour usually soaks up a little bit more water. I'm not sure about semolina. That might also soak up a little bit more water, but I just took this out of my Berkey, put it in the microwave for 30 seconds and let it sit, and you feel it and it's just like, that's nice. That's nicely warm. You don't want it to be too hot where it's uncomfortable. That will kill the yeast immediately. So you just want, that's nice. I like this. So we're just going to pour it into the middle, and we're going to use our paddle, and we're just going to mix it. It should be a nice wet, sticky-ish dough. It shouldn't be dry or hard, because that's gonna not make it easy for it to rise. You want it to be very fluid. I can tell already we're probably gonna have to add just a little bit more water because it's getting too dry. So just add 1, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of water. Now you're not gonna have to knead this. That's beautiful. I hate kneading stuff. It hurts my hands. This looks pretty good. You could add a little bit more water even, but that's a nice, soft, sticky-ish dough. We're just going to let this sit in this bowl. You can add a little bit of cooking spray or whatnot to the bowl, but you really don't need it, you know, just to keep it from sticking. This is going to be a nice, happy loaf. We're going to put a little saran wrap. Is that branding? Probably. A little plastic wrap over the top of this and let it sit. I'm going to go out shopping. So by the time I come back, or a little bit after even, this will be ready for the next step. But you just basically take 5 minutes to mix this in the morning. Let it sit until a couple of hours before you're ready to bake it, or even an hour before you're ready to bake it. And it's going to be amazing. This has been sitting for 6 hours now, and it's pretty much doubled in size.
Nice.
I'm just going to scrape it out here. We're going to put it on this piece of parchment paper that I've already gotten ready over here. Just going to punch it down a little bit because we're going to let it rise. Going to pretty much shape it into the final shape that we want. It's going to spread out and, you know, re-rise again.
It smells good.
Thank you. If it's too sticky, you can add some flour to it, but I would leave it in a warm spot. I'm going to put the proof setting on in my oven, and I'm going to put some cuts into it to help it, the steam release, and it makes it look pretty too. But probably about a 2-hour rise, and then I'll show you what we need to do to cook it. This has been proofing for about 2 hours. I am going to cook this on a pizza stone. That's why I have the parchment paper, and I'm going to use this pizza pan like a peel, slide it right onto the stone. You don't have to do that. I find it comes out better when you do it that way. I've got my oven preheated to 450 degrees, and I've got the pizza stone at the bottom rack of the oven with convection on. Again, totally unnecessary. It'll just take it to a whole nother level if you can though. So I'm going to pop this in for 30 minutes. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. I'm excited. The way I like to cut this shape is I will go down the middle. It's still warm.
Ooh. Yes.
Nice. And then I go down like this.
Oh, it smells so good. There is nothing like fresh bread.
Right? It's best to let this cool off a little bit before you attempt to slice it because it'll compress. But this is a pretty firm loaf, like it's dense.
Yeah.
So it should be fine though.
That looks beautiful.
Doesn't it though? I think we should get a picture of that before we try it. All right, pick one.
I love the smell so much. Wish I could get bread perfume.
I don't know about that, but
Oh my god, it's so fresh and so delicious.
that's gonna be amazing with the soup.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right.
I could eat that all day.
Right?
I love bread so much.
I do too. It doesn't love me though. I hope you love it as well. I hope you give it a try.
It's got a nice crust on the outside and then the middle's like
soft and pillowy. Yeah. And can you taste the difference by using the semolina as opposed to using like just regular all white flour? Definitely tastes rustic, old worldy.
It's got like a buttery taste to it. And it doesn't even have butter.
Yeah.
What?
It's gonna be perfect with our chicken soup tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Vegan chicken soup. All right, guys.
That's a home run.
Thank you. I think so. Give it a try. Let me know if you did. We're almost at the end of Veganuary, so subscribe. And until next time, much love.